April 16th, 2014, Wednesday, April 16th, 2014. It's hump day, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you recovered from income tax day. Income tax in the United States. That is a topic of conversation. That is a giant topic of conversation, which I am not going to cover. I could, but I'm not gonna, because that's not my wheelhouse. That's not what we specialize in here. What I specialize in here is the dissemination of information about science-based, clinically verified alternatives to drugs and surgery, not because drugs and surgery are bad in and of themselves, but when they are applied through a juvenile methodology, as they are, as the MDs are wont to do. They're the leading cause of death and the leading cause of bankruptcy in the United States. MD-directed medical therapeutics are the wrong dog for the hunt. They are the wrong therapeutics to bring to bear in the treatment of chronic disease. They're wrong. The medical system doesn't need to be regulated. It doesn't need to be tweaked. It doesn't need to be massaged. It doesn't need to be upregulated or downregulated. It needs to be avoided because it does not work. It doesn't work, not for the treatment of chronic disease. I take a lot of my stuff, a lot of my information off of Medscape because it's an interesting website. The MDs use it like the Holy Grail. And the information that's put forth on Medscape trickles down into conventional medical circles quickly, so I try to keep you ahead of the curve. The latest thing that I thought that of interest that I pulled off of Medscape is from Eric Topol, MD, the editor-in-chief of Medscape. It is an idea of virtual offices, and I quote, "The idea of virtual office visits replacing physically present office visits has been moving at a pace that is quite astounding. The February 2014 issue of Health Affairs was dedicated to this idea of telemedicine, telehealth, and the use of mobile devices in medicine. An article by Robert Pearl from Kaiser Permanente included an interesting graph about the growth of virtual visits, and we are not even talking about video, but email and phone visits as compared with physical office visits. The graph showed how the virtual visit has taken off during the past 5 years, and that is even without technology. Now we have doctors on demand. We have Ring-A-Doc and all these other services, in addition to being able to go to the clinic at your corner drugstore for medical advice, whether it's CVS, Walgreens, or Walmart. Doc in a box." Cisco surveyed several thousand Americans who were representative of the country, and 74% did not want to physically go for an office visit. They preferred a virtual visit. They do not want to wait an hour for a 7-minute face-to-face visit. They would rather have this visit in the comfort of wherever they are, at home or on the go, and have this visit via secure video or any other type of communication, end quote. Now, the article goes on, and they're extolling how, this is going to revolutionize medicine and give more people more access to more MD FaceTime or more MD care. More MD care, not more MD FaceTime, more MD care, which is exactly the opposite of what needs to happen. People don't need to be encouraged to visit their MD more. People need to be encouraged to get so healthy that the only time they need to go to the MD is if they're bleeding to death or they have some physical trauma, because that is the wheelhouse of the MD. Now, I'm going to reread you a sentence from this monograph, and I want you to see if you can catch the peculiarity here. Okay? 74% of people surveyed did not want to physically go for an office visit. They do not want to wait an hour for a 7-minute face-to-face visit. For a 7-minute face-to-face visit. For a 7-minute face-to-face visit, which is the average amount of time your MD spends with you. Now, does it make sense to you that anybody, regardless of the letters after their name, is going to have any conceptual understanding whatsoever about the complexities of your life and the intricacies of your disease states, because nobody has just one thing wrong with them, After visiting with you for 7 minutes, for goodness sake, it takes me longer than 7 minutes to order a cup of coffee at Starbucks. And you know what? I'm okay with that. But this is what we've gotten used to here in the modern world. We want fast everything. Well, we don't really want fast everything. Fast everything has been shoved down our throats until it becomes the new normal. So the 7-minute doctor visit is the new normal. And, this is what we've gotten used to. And it's nuts. It's nonsense. It's complete and total balderdash. And I think that's the first time I've used that word on this station. Balderdash. I think I'm going to roll that one out more because that's what it is. How can anybody get a grasp on you in 7 minutes? How can anybody explain to you why you got what you got and what you need to do to fix it in 7 minutes? They can't. And this is a perfect example of how the MDs are trained. Because remember, the MDs are not trained to cure disease. They're not. The MDs are trained in how to deliver drugs to manage your symptoms. So all the MD needs to know is what diagnosis you've been given or what your signs and symptoms are. Most of the time, it's the nurse who takes down the signs and symptoms. The doctor just reads it off of a chart. And then, instead of educating you as to what you did incorrectly in your life over time, that generated the weakness in your body that then capitulated over into a chronic disease, rather than educate you about what you did incorrectly and what you can do correctly moving forward to support and promote and strengthen your body, the MD doesn't care. Not because they're bad humans, but that's how they're trained. You wouldn't expect a born-again Christian to talk to you about reincarnation because that's not their thing. You would not expect a Republican to talk to you about welfare. You would not expect a Democrat to talk to you about military spending because those are not their things. You would not expect a communist to give you advice about voters' rights because that's definitely not their thing. Well, you need to pick your head up out of the sand, Mr. and Mrs. Ostrich. You need to look and see what the MD is about, and then you will have an understanding of whether or not you should bring your ailing body to them for their advice, whether it's in person or virtually. Your medical doctor has been trained that once you're sick, you're screwed. Your body has no possible ability to fix itself. And that your only option is to let the all-powerful, all-seeing MD Oz, Dr. Oz, I swear to God, the only reason Dr. Oz is as popular as he is because his last name is Oz. Your only option is to let the all-powerful, all-seeing Dr. MD deliver unto your body synthetic man-made pharmaceuticals, very expensive, the intention of which is not to fix the illness, but to manage your symptoms. This is why the visit only takes 7 minutes. And this is also why the leading cause of death in the United States is MD-directed therapeutics. Because it's impossible for the doctor to be able to have an understanding, unless they're a genius with an eidetic memory, about the interrelated interactions between all of the medications that they have you on. You know how long it takes to figure all that stuff out? A long time. But the MD doesn't care, because it's not the MD's job to help you increase your health. It's the MD's job to manage your symptoms with drugs, and that's what they do. So, this is what we've gotten used to. We've gotten used to medical mediocrity. We've gotten used to spending 7 minutes with the doctor, so much so that now, instead of abandoning the system, we're going to use the system to our own advantage, and instead of driving all the way to the doctor's office and sitting in a waiting room for an hour, we're just going to sit at home in our Barca lounger and dial the doctor up so that we can talk to him for 7 minutes without having to wait. And we're okay with the 7 minutes. And we shouldn't be. But this is what it's come to. This is what it's come to. Everybody is sick. And I know why. Everybody is so sick that people have gotten used to being sick. And people believe that the new normal is to be sick. And, you got to be on your meds. You got to be on your meds. Oh, my goodness, you're not taking any meds? What's wrong with you? Medical mediocrity delivered by monopolistic, monotheistic MDs, practicing a system of medicine which is the leading cause of death and the leading cause of bankruptcy. Now, the reason that all of this nonsense persists is because the MDs are not trained in medicine. Nobody is. Medicine is a vast domain, remember. There are many different types of medicine, just like there are many different types of dog. You wouldn't take a Chihuahua duck hunting, would you? That's the wrong dog for the hunt. You need to take a golden retriever, a Labrador retriever, a Chesapeake Bay retriever duck hunting. That's the right dog for the job. Well, the MDs are suited for trauma care, for surgery when it's absolutely necessary, and a handful of infectious diseases. For everything else, they're horrible. They're the wrong dog for the hunt. And you shouldn't be happy that now you can see your MD from the comfort of your own home for 7 minutes. You should be horrified that this is the new normal. Ladies and gentlemen, in order for you to increase your health, you must fire your medical doctor now and educate yourself about simple steps that you can take immediately. Designed and developed and delivered by licensed physicians. Simple steps that you can take to support and promote your body's ability to fix itself. Because guess what? Your body's ability to fix itself is greater than anyone has led you to believe. You would not believe the things that I have seen people recover from. You wouldn't believe it. This is not a miracle panacea. What it is, new-fashioned, cutting-edge, tip of the spear, effective, pragmatic, science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. The best thing to happen to the practice of medicine since the invention of the sterile technique. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, your steadfast advocate for health, and this is Fire Your MD Now. And so it goes, and so it goes, and so it goes. Sometimes it feels as if we're born back consistently into the past. But, we have to do what we can do, and there are more and more people who are just sick and tired of being sick and tired, and they don't know why they're sick and tired, right? They've been to every medical doctor in the world, they've been to every specialist in the world, and they're still not any better. People don't understand the distinction that your MD is only trained in one type of medicine, and they don't understand that there exist other methodologies which are science-based and clinically verified, because the pharmaceutical industry has convinced everybody that the only way is the MD's way. So people go to MD1, MD2, MD3, MD4, MD5, MD6, and when they get to MD7 or 8, they finally throw in the towel, and you know what? They want to take a stab at alternative, quote-unquote, medicine. Yeah, this is where we're at. And this is why I have this radio show. This is why the Longevity Company exists, in part. This is why Dr. Wallach, at 74 years of age, gives over 300 free lectures and has a radio presence the way that he does, 1 hour every day, Monday through Friday. Because nobody knows what we know, and everybody needs to know what we know. People just don't know that there exist right now in real time alternatives to MD-directed therapeutics, or better yet, that their MDs do not know what's best for them. This is the thing that most people need to get straight. It's not that everything that the MDs do is bad. That's not our position, because that's not true. It's the MD methodology, the philosophy of medicine that the MD is trained in is inappropriate for chronic disease. It's not the right dog for the hunt for chronic disease. For surgery when it's necessary, for trauma, it's awesome. Well, it's good. Right? Remember, according to Harvard University, over 50% of MDs who work in emergency rooms are addicted to street drugs, alcohol, or prescription meds. Now, how does that make you feel? All warm and fuzzy inside? Well, no, you should be horrified. But my point here is that people just need to understand, and they don't, that their medical doctor may be the nicest person in the world, but they don't know what's best for them. They only know what they've been trained in. And what they've been trained in is just one tiny, tiny, tiny piece of the pie of medical science. So, you know, we follow each other like lemmings over the cliff to our doom, simply for lack of knowledge, you know, which makes the Old Testament quote extremely applicable. My people are destroyed by lack of knowledge. So if you knew what I know, what would you do? Would you sit at home and lock yourself up in a room? Would you, be okay and just rest on your laurels with, a private practice and maybe help a couple of hundred people a year, if you're lucky? Because remember, insurance doesn't pay for it, and my type of medicine is not regulated nor licensed in 35 states of the Union. By the way, Maryland, the governor just signed the bill, but it doesn't go into effect until 2017. Don't know why. Would you do that? Would you just stay at home and, be happy with a private practice, or would you climb to the rooftop and yell it from with a megaphone? Wow. That's what I'm doing. That's what Dr. Wallach's doing. Nobody knows what we know, and everybody needs to. And because the deck is stacked against us, because the pharmaceutical industry, the insurance companies, the hospital industry, and the American Medical Association, plus medical associations around the world are gunning for us, because we do not have a free medical market, we have to resort to radio shows and public lectures, free public lectures, and webinars, and an internet presence, in order just to show people, that there is, in fact, a different way. And once we reach, there is a 100th monkey breaking point here. There's going to come a time when so many people have been exposed to our message and have tried our message and have secured real-time results from our protocols. There's going to come a time when all of a sudden it's going to explode, and everybody is going to come rushing towards us. It's only a matter of time until that happens. But right now, it's one person at a time, one conversation at a time, one listening audience at a time, one lecture audience at a time, one city at a time, one county at a time, one state at a time, one province at a time, one country at a time. Ladies and gentlemen, very happy that you've found time in your busy life to hang out with me this afternoon, and every time that you do it. I hope I don't disappoint. I am your steadfast advocate for health. Let's let the healing begin in Michigan with Lindsay when we come back. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Don't even think about touching that dial. Welcome back, everybody. If you haven't already done it, go to the website, please, fireyourmdnow.com. You can also get to the same place by just doing a Google search for Dr. Glidden. Dr. Glidden, or just go to drglidden.com. Any one of those ways will bring you to my website. Click on the Insider button and see what it is all about. Because I have a subscription on my website for a measly $20 a month that will give you immediate access to 100-plus hours of archived health webinars that will teach you about your illness from the holistic point of view, and give you solutions, things that you can do right now to support and promote the structure and function of that part of the body. And that beats a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. That's 1,000,000 times better than talking to an MD for 7 minutes, for goodness sake. You need to know what you don't know. And there's a whole bunch of information. That's a medical term, by the way, a whole bunch of information that is so far outside of your reference range that you didn't even know you didn't know that. And that's the stuff that I talk about with these webinars. There's information there that can save your life and or dramatically improve the quality of your life, minute to minute, hour to hour, day to day. Let's go to Michigan and talk to Lindsay, see what's up. Hey, Lindsay, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Dr. Glidden, thank you so much for taking my call. I listen to you every day. These products have saved my life. I've talked to you before. I used to have 100 seizures a day. Now I got none.
Wait a minute. 100 seizures a day. Now you have none.
Yep.
Now, what did the MDs say when you presented to them without any seizures, or have you not done that yet?
I haven't done it yet.
Well, it's a fool's errand anyway, because they're not going to care. And this is also one of the biggest eye-openers for people. I can't tell you how frequently this happens to us, that somebody comes to see us with extreme stuff like this. And I got to tell you, Lindsay, that's extreme. 100 seizures a day is extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they follow our advice. Yeah. How much?
I'm weaning off all my medication. I used to take 14 pills a day. Now I'm down to a half a pill.
Yeah, it's pretty gosh darn exciting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now listen, in addition to, no more seizures, have you experienced anything else in your body, mind that's improved?
Well, I've lost 80 pounds. I no longer have ADD, no more bipolar, no more depression. I'm not scared to talk to people anymore.
I'd say, young lady, your life has taken quite a big turn for the better.
Well, I have a friend, her parents are very sick, and that's what I'm calling about. Her mom has high blood pressure, breast cancer, and low insulin. What can you do?
Well, we can help here, really it depends. How much do you think they're willing to do? Or are they willing to, take a stab at this? And
they're ready.
Okay, so, all right. So now this begs the question, though, Lindsay, right? Why aren't they calling me?
Well, my friend wanted me to call because she's at work.
What about her parents?
I don't know. I'm doing it for my friend. She is ready. I've been having.
All right. So is it your friend? Is it your friend who's up against all these issues, or is it her parents?
It's her parents.
Okay. So here's what I want you to do, and there's a method to my madness. All right, because I'm seeing big things in your future, Lindsay. You have a remarkable story. You have a remarkable testimonial. You can go very, very far in the world in helping people, and you could make a big splash in this pond in the rest of your life. However, there's a way to be effective at this, and there's a way to be ineffective at this. And if you don't learn how to be effective at this, in 2 or 3 years you're going to get so frustrated by the stupidity of people that you'll give it up, you'll stop doing it, you'll throw in the towel, and you'll stop trying to convince other people to do it. You'll continue to do it because you know how good it is, but you will become frustrated with the stupidity of the people who you are around in your life. So, I'm going to give you advice. I'm going to become your personal coach for the rest of your life here, because this is a remarkable story. And you have an ace of spades up your sleeve that not many other people do, which is your remarkable testimonial. I'm telling you, kid, it's a remarkable testimonial. So the single best way to get people to follow through and to actually get the supplements, lay down their money, order the supplements, follow the diet, and take action on their own behalf, is to get them to hear it from the horse's mouth. So what you need to get into the habit of is saying, look, my name is Lindsay. I know a doctor that says you don't have to suffer from that. If I send you a link to his radio show, will you call in and ask him what he thinks? If I send you a link to one of his pre-recorded webinars, will you watch it? And then I'll call you up and we can talk. If I send you a link to one of his live webinars, will you show up? If I lend you this CD, will you listen to it? If I lend you this DVD, will you watch it? You need to get people to take action on their own behalf, Lindsay. And if you can get into that habit now and make it second nature, your future in this industry is unlimited. And the amount of people that you will be able to bring into the light of medical nutrition will be hard to compete with. But you got to dial it in the correct way now. So I'm happy to help you with these people, but only if they call me. So my challenge to you, Lindsay, is have a conversation with them in a way that moves them into action to actually get them to lift the phone up and give good old Dr. Glidden a call. I'm more than happy to help them. So Well,
I wanted to have her on a three-way call so she could listen, but she couldn't because she is at work. But
her parents are not. Her parents are at home, and it's their parents that are the ones that are suffering, right?
I'll listen to the show later.
Well, that's not the best way to do it. The best way to do it is to have them call me and talk to me live. Now, because I like you, I'm going to answer your question, and I'm going to tell you what I would recommend. But listen, take my advice. You took my advice about the nutritional supplements, and look what happened. If you get into the habit of getting your prospects to actually take action on their own behalf immediately, it's going to be 1,000,000 times better for you. I know a doctor that says you don't have to suffer with that. His radio show is live every day from 3 to 5. Why don't you just call him up yourself and see what he has to say? That's a much, 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 much better way to move people into the undiscovered territory of medical nutrition. So here's what we want to do. Give me the diagnoses again. She's got high blood pressure.
High blood pressure, breast cancer, and low insulin.
Okay. Low insulin?
Yes.
So is she a type 1 or a type 2 diabetic?
I don't know.
Probably. If she was diagnosed with low insulin, that's a peculiar diagnosis. All right, so high blood pressure, right? That's most of the time a simple calcium and magnesium deficiency. Insulin problems are a blood sugar metabolism problem. Those are caused by multiple mineral deficiencies. And breast cancer can be caused by many different things. We don't treat cancer. We don't treat disease here. We strengthen the immune system, though, and that would be necessary in the case of someone who's struggling with any type of cancer. It would be prudent for them to get on board with a medical nutrition program, the intention of which is to support and promote the structure and function of their immune system or their cardiovascular system or whatever. So the next question, you know what it's going to be, Lindsay. How much does this woman weigh? Do you know?
150.
150? All right.
Yeah.
So here's what I would do if I were them for 90 days as a trial run to see if they experience a positive benefit somewhere in their life. Somewhere, something must brighten up inside of 90 days. Usually it happens inside of 4 weeks, 30 days.
Right.
But we say 90 days because, some people's bodies are sluggish. So the recommendation is to support and promote the structure and function of their body, mind. What I would do if I were them, per month, 1 original formula anti-aging healthy start pack. 1 anti-aging healthy start pack original formula. 4 bottles of Ultimate Selenium a month. 4 bottles of Ultimate Selenium a month. 1 extra bottle of liquid Beyond Osteo FX a month. 1 extra bottle of Beyond Osteo FX a month in the liquid form. And as much Z Radical as she can afford. If she can afford a bottle a day, then she should get it. If she can afford a bottle every other day, then she should get it. A bottle every 3 days, a bottle every 4 days, a bottle a week, whatever she can afford. With Z Radical, she should get it as much as she can afford, up to a bottle a day of the Z Radical. She must eliminate the 10 bad foods, and she must figure out a way to take the nutritional supplements in a way that's not going to give her constipation, gas, diarrhea, or whatever, and you can help her do that. So you're going to have to hold her hand for the first 2 or 3 days until she gets the dosage schedule dialed in. Help her to figure out, if she needs help, what eating gluten-free is all about. It's easy to do. And that's the recommendation. Gluten-free, eliminate the 10 bad foods, get on board with those nutritional supplements, and remember, this is holistic medical nutrition, and what that means is, from our point of view, everything's connected. People don't get breast cancer or prostate cancer because they have a breast or prostate. People don't get lung cancer or skin cancer because they have a lung or skin. People don't get heart disease because they have a heart. These things happen because the body has run out of the raw materials it needs to keep itself healthy. We replace those raw materials, encourage people to stop eating food that's gumming up the works, and then when they do that, look to see what improves. Mood improves, energy improves, sleep improves, appetite improves, weight improves, whatever, I don't care. As long as we get something remarkably positive, then we continue the discipline every day until we're out of the woods with our condition, if that's at all possible. Oftentimes it is. And she also should get a copy of my book and read her oncologist. Ask her oncologist politely the 10 questions in my chapter on cancer, 10 questions that every patient needs to ask their oncologist in the presence of a recording machine and a witness. If she asks her oncologist these 10 questions about her cancer, she will know beyond a shadow of a doubt whether she should follow through with conventional medical treatments or not. She needs to get educated. Now, this is the last bone I'm going to throw you, Lindsay, because I love your testimonial. In the future, bring the people live yourself. You're awesome. Keep up the good work, Lindsay. I am expecting remarkably cool things from you moving forward. You are the greatest. I appreciate everything that you do. That's how we do it. Can you imagine that testimonial? Can you imagine what would have happened to Lindsay had she not found us? I can. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Stick around. April 16th, 2014. Happy Hump Day, everybody. Let's head on down to Virginia and see what Terry's up to. Hey, Terry, thanks for the phone call. You are live. Come on in, Terry. Hello, Terry. All right, we're going to put Terry on hold and instead go talk to Pat in Maryland. Hey, Pat, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. I was calling because I'd heard of this killer, I think it was killer probiotics, which helps with this with arthritis and the cartilage that I'm having problems with in my knees. I am taking the glucogel cap, and it has helped tremendously because I didn't have to go back and get any more shots in my knees. But I'd heard of, you talked about killer probiotics. I want to know, what is that?
That's a good question. The actual term is killer biotic.
Oh, killer biotic. Okay.
And it's a combination of herbs which stimulate your immune system, which make your immune system better at getting rid of bugs that are in your body and, increasing immune function. And the immune system, right, is like the police department of the human body. It gets rid of the bad guys, right? Now, the only time that killer biotic is mandated here in an arthritic condition is if it's a rheumatoid arthritic condition. Now, has anyone ever diagnosed you with rheumatoid arthritis?
No, it was, osteo.
Okay, then you don't need killer biotic. We only use the killer biotic in an arthritic condition if it's a rheumatoid arthritic condition.
Oh, okay.
Because we are of the belief that the rheumatoid arthritic condition is associated with a little bug called a mycoplasma that's taken up residence in the joint, and that's one of the reasons why the joint is problematic, because there's a little bug growing in there that shouldn't be. But in osteoarthritis, this is not the case. But what you may want to do here as a little experiment to see if you can't get a little more improvement, with your condition, is to switch from the glucogel capsules to the liquid glucogel. Are you taking the capsules now, or are you doing the liquid now?
Yes, I was doing the capsules, and I was doing 15 a day.
And are you about 150 pounds?
No, I'm over. I'm about 200.
Okay. So in a perfect world, you'd do 20 capsules a day. But you might want to switch for 4 weeks to the liquid glucogel plus and see if you have, a more better experience or not. I'm thinking that you're going to. But the proof of the pudding's in the eating, and we dose that at 1 bottle of liquid glucogel plus per 50 pounds per month. So if you're 200 pounds, you'd need 4 bottles of liquid glucogel plus a month. If you can't afford that, or if it's outside the budget or whatever, do 3 or do 2. And the dose here is 1 ounce a day per bottle. So if you have 1 bottle, you do 1 ounce a day. If you have 2 bottles, you do 2 ounces a day, and so forth. You may find by switching to that liquid glucogel that it's more effective for you. Another thing that you can do is, by way of experiment, is for 7 days in a row, double the amount of liquid calcium that you take every day. Double the amount of liquid calcium and see if that gives you more bang for your buck. And, of course, everything that we do here, Pat, is based upon the fundamental supposition that everybody has to stop eating wheat, barley, rye, and oats. Have you done that yet?
I have. I've stayed away from those, the phytates.
Yeah.
Phytates, yeah. Now, let me ask you this one other question. I didn't realize it when I started taking it. I've been taking the product now for about 3 weeks. And at the time, I was taking, just taking the BTT and the osteo. I was just drinking it down. I mixed it and I drank it straight down. But I also had spinach in my omelets in the morning, and I would snack on almonds or else use almond milk in the shakes with the whey.
Yeah, well, that's going to interfere with the minerals. Yeah, that's crazy, right? That's going to interfere with the minerals. So
yeah,
there's
I didn't know it. So my feet started swelling and my ankles started swelling. And I'm saying, is there any way when a person violates that to kind of help to reverse it back?
Well, yes, there is. So you have to stop it, number one. And number two, to get the swelling to go away, you need to eat more protein. You need to have protein be a substantial part of every meal. More protein, Pat, should make it go away within 7 days. Stick around if you'd like to, Pat. I'll pick you up on the other side of the hour. I appreciate your phone call. Ladies and gentlemen, hour 2 coming up Wednesday, April 16th, 2014.